Hey there, fourth graders. All right, this is part 2 of multiplication. So I don't need to give you any definitions. We already went over those in the last video. Let's do the traditional way with a 2 by 2 digit number. So for this one, here's a little trick that I do. I always start with my ones column first. So I'm going to actually erase the 2, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and do my multiplication the regular way. So 6 times 3 is 18. Carry my 1 up here at the top. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Now, I am done with my ones column. So that means I'm going to add my 2 back in, and I'm going to erase my 3 because I don't need that anymore. So since I erased the 3 in the ones column, when I start my new number that I create, I am not going to have any ones. My 2 starts in the tens column, which means my number has to start in the tens column. So let's do 2 times 6 is 12. So I'm going to cross this out and put a plus 1 because we've already done this one. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 1 is 17. Since I have no more numbers that I am multiplying by, I'm going to add these. 8 plus 0 is 8. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And bring my 1 down for an answer of 1,978. Now let's go to 237 times 42. Well, I'm going to erase my 4 because right now I want to just focus on the 2. So let's look at 237 times 2. 7 times 2 is 14, so I'm going to put my plus 1 up here. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And 2 times 2 is 4. Well, now I'm going to add my 4 back in. And I'm going to erase the 2 because now I'm done with that. Since I erased the number that is in the ones spot, I'm going to put a 0 down here because I'm now working in the tens. So my number starts in the tens category. So 7 times 4 is 28. So I'm going to erase this up here and put a plus 2. Okay, come on, computer. There we go, plus 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So plus 1 up here. And 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. I have no more numbers, so I'm going to add these up. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 7 is 15. Carry my 1. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Bring my 9 down. 9,954. Now let's do these same problems using the box method. So 86 times 23, expand it out first. 86 becomes 80 plus 6. 23 becomes 20 plus 3. Now I'm going to make my box. 86 goes on the top, so I have 80 and then 6. 23 goes on the side, so I have 20 and then 3. Now, if we look at our top box in the left-hand corner, we get an 80 and a 20 that are touching those sides. So 80 times 20 is what we're going to do for this box. Since 80 has 1 0, 20 has 1 0, that's 2 zeros total, so I'm going to put 2 zeros in my answer. 8 times 2 is 16. So 1,600 is my answer for that box. Now if I go below that, the 3 touches it, and it's in the 80 column. So 80 times 3 is what we're doing. 1 0 for the 80. 8 times 3 is 24. So 240. Now if I go to the top right-hand box, I get 6 times 20. Since there's 1 0 and 20, I get 1 0 on my answer. 6 times 2 is 12. So I get 120. And then the bottom box is 6 times 3, which is 18. Now I'm going to multiply or add these. 1,600 plus 120, 240, and 18. Well, this is 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9. Carry my 1, 1,978. Now I'm going to do the box for this one too. So 237 becomes 200 plus 30 plus 7. And 42 becomes 40 plus 2. So I'm going to make my nice little box. I get 200, 30, and 7. And then I get 40 and 2. Okay, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. 200 times 40 is in the top left-hand box. There are 2 zeros in 200 and 1 in 40. So that means I get 3 zeros in my answer. And 4 times 2 is 8. Then the box underneath it is 200 times 2. So there are 2 zeros in my answer because there's 2 zeros in 200. And 2 times 2 is 4. Let's go to the next one. 40 times 30, 2 zeros. 4 times 3 is 12, so it gives me 1,200. Let's go below that. 30 times 2, 1 0. 3 times 2 is 6. Let's go to the top one. 7 times 40, 1 0. 7 times 4 is 28. And let's go to the bottom one. 7 times 2 is 14. And if I add all these up, I get 8,000 plus 1,200 plus 280 plus 400 plus 60 plus 14. Alright, so this is 4. 8 and 6 is 14 plus 1 is 15. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 4 is 9. And 8 plus 1 is 9. So 9,954. Alright, let's do partial products now. Once again, you start off with expanded form. So 86 became 80 plus 6, and 23 becomes 20 plus 3. Then in this, you're making multiplication problems. So I have to take my 80 and my 6 and multiply it by the 20 and the 3. Both numbers. So my first problem, I'm just going to take my 80 and multiply it by 20. 2 zeros in my answer. 8 times 2 is 16. Then I'm going to take my 80 and I'm going to multiply it by the 3. So 1 0 in my answer. 8 times 3 is 24. Then I'm going to take my 6 and multiply it by 20. 1 0 in my answer. 6 times 2 is 12. Then I'm going to take my 6 and multiply it by the 3. 6 times 3 is 18. Add these together. This is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6 and 1 is 7. 6 and 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Carry my 1. 1,978. Now let's take this problem and do partial products with it also. 237 becomes 200 plus 30 plus 7, and 42 becomes 40 plus 2. Okay, with this one, once again, I have to take 200, 30, and 7 and multiply it by the 40 and the 2, each one of those. So I'm going to take 200 times 40. There are 1, 2, 3 zeros, and 4 times 2 is 8 to make 8,000. Then I'm going to take my 200 and multiply it by the 2. There are 2 zeros. 2 times 2 is 4. Now I'm done multiplying 200, so I'm going to move on to 30. 30 is going to be multiplied by 40. 2 zeros. 4 times 2 is 12. Then I'm going to take 30 and I'm going to multiply it by 2. 1 0. 3 times 2 is 6. Now I'm done with 30. Now I need to multiply 7 by both numbers. So 7 times 40. 1 0. 7 times 4 is 28. And then 7 times 2, which is 14. After you've multiplied everything, add it together. So this is a 4. 8 and 6 is 14, plus 1 is 15. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7, plus 2 is 9. 8 and 1 is 9, so 9,954. Here is your work it out. Once again, use any of those multiplication strategies. So you can do traditional, box, or partial products. And you're going to solve 695 times 38. Write 2 or more sentences explaining what you did. So, I chose the blank method because, and then your second sentence can be, first I did, and then explain what you did. I will go over this with you in class tomorrow. Have a good night.